Hello Sagittarius, so I'm doing your weekly reading for November the 22nd to the 29th. Also, we have literally just entered Sagittarius season, so a very happy birthday to our Sagittarius collective. Right, so for today, Sag, you'll have to excuse me, I'm struggling a little bit with my hands today. I'm going to take a look into what is going on with your situation. We'll find out why it's happening. We'll look at your blind spot, anything that is working for you at this time, and of course how it is all likely going to be playing out as well. So, your situation, the earthworm, clarity, rumination. This is a very hard worker, right? So it's saying, Sag, you're working really, really hard at the moment. And it's possible, similar to the Gemini reading, that the vast majority of your work at this time is going largely unnoticed, okay? But that's not to say that you're not making a difference, because you absolutely are. When you consider the earthworm, we tend to not think about them very much, okay? We tend to take them for granted, but they're always there, they're always busy, right? And if it weren't for the earthworm, then the quality of our soil would be, well, it would just be shit. So this one reminds you that there's some essential work that you're possibly needing to do here, Sag, right? That you might not have given much thought, and it's to do with that inner work, okay? Because it's all about what is hidden beneath the surface, with it being the earthworm. So that's your inner work. It could be your shadow work, okay, your healing, anything like that. You might have overlooked. And so the quality of your internal soil, as it were, it's become a bit compact, right? There's no aeration going on. It's become a bit stagnant. So this week you're being asked to focus on doing the inner work, okay? That essential work that you need to do beneath the surface. And I would also suggest that it could well be time for you to confront a situation that has been playing on your mind, a situation that has been worrying you, that's been causing a lot of concern for you. Then this is going to be the week for you to confront all of that, okay? It's also asking for you to consider breaking down any big, overwhelming emotions into something that is a lot less intimidating, right? Because it's asking for you to break down your situation into smaller, more manageable chunks. And they're saying that that's going to be easier for you to digest and understand. Now, sometimes this energy, it can be associated with some kind of trauma. Something that you never really... how do I put this? Something that you never really tackled or gave it the acknowledgement that it was asking for. Okay, a traumatic experience that you might have just preferred to ignore. Maybe pretend that it never happened, or deliberately forget that it happened. Anything like that, Sag, it is needing your attention this week. Okay. Now, the earthworm energy is asking, what is it that you can do for yourself to help yourself out when you're feeling overwhelmed, right? So it's possible that this week, Sag, you might start to feel a little bit emotionally overwhelmed about all of these things that you never really wanted to acknowledge, okay, for whatever reason. It's also a reminder, Sag, that your work, it is very, very important. Okay. Oftentimes you'll find that this earthworm card will come out for someone who feels like they're not making a difference, or for someone who feels like they're not really living with purpose. Okay, this energy reminds you that you are making a difference. You're making a huge difference. Even if you can't see it, you're actually making a huge difference. And it asks for you to consider the other people around you as well. How are you making a huge difference to them and to their lives? Because they probably don't speak about it, but, you know, it's there. It's definitely there. You are important. You do make a difference. This one is a very humble energy because it's the earthworm, because it's everything that is hidden beneath the surface. Okay. So it's a humble energy. I do get the impression that a lot of our Sagittarius collectives are very humble individuals, right? So, of course, yes, stay humble, but also don't forget to give yourself credit where the credit is due. At the bottom of the deck, you've got the leaves, renewal, revival, and progress. Yeah, so you're definitely making a lot of progress this week, Sag. Again, you probably don't feel that you are with the earthworm energy, but Spirit's telling you, yeah, you guys, you're definitely making progress, and you are making a difference. Okay, so let's take a look at this renewal energy first with the leaves. So can you tell us more about this renewal for Sagittarius, please? What's this message with renewal? The Ten of Pentacles. Long-term energy, long-term difference. Now, this one can be connected to inheritance, family, wealth. It can be connected to your bloodline or the family that you've created, okay? For your particular situation, Sag, I feel that this is saying that there is renewal that's going on within your lineage with the Ten of Pentacles. There's also something very significant that's going on when it comes down to your own personal growth. But not only that, your own I want to say, I've already said personal growth, haven't I? You'll have to excuse me, Sag. You guys know I've got a little bit of medical struggles. Sometimes they're a lot worse than other times. It just so happens to be that today it's playing up quite significantly. So the brain fog is a real issue. I'll push through it though. So renewal when it comes down to your own personal growth. Financial freedom, that's what I was going to say. Financial freedom and financial security with the Ten of Pentacles, okay? So yeah, no more struggling, no more feeling like you have to scrape the bottom of the barrel, basically, with this financial freedom and the renewal energy that's coming into that. If you're heavily focused on your career this week, then it feels to me like there's an increase of your finances, okay? It could also be coming from an investment, a financial investment that you made in the past as well. There's accumulated energies, right? So there's accumulated wealth, there's accumulated growth, accumulated knowledge, because it's clarifying the leaves, okay? So it's a reminder of the accumulative effects of everything that you have been doing up until this point. And it feels like this week is going to be a very significant week for you guys, where you see the evidence of the accumulated growth, okay? And it does feel like it's across the board, So this energy, this accumulative energy, is touching upon more than just one area of your life at the moment, okay? So it's like your professional life, your personal life, all areas, your own inner world as well. This one's saying as well that you have accumulated something of great value, okay? Interesting. The Page of Wands, and that's come out in the reversed position. Let's find out more about that one. It shouldn't be in the reverse. I did check my deck before I did the reading. I check all of the decks before I do all the reads, because I have to make sure everything's, you know, ready to go. And that Ace of Wands, it's still come out in the reverse position. Now, I've just read for Gemini, and their Ace of Wands also was in the reversed position. So you could be dealing with a Gemini, or there could be a significant Gemini placement in your own chart that is taking center stage. Again, take it as it resonates. The Nine of Wands. So the Ace of Wands reversed with the Nine of Wands. I feel that this is you putting strong boundaries in place, that this is you making it blatantly obvious to certain individuals that you're not a doormat, right? And that you're not here to work for them or for their benefit. You're not here for their convenience, okay? And that it's about time that that you were respected. All right, I'm definitely getting the message of respect that's coming through this combination. I feel with this Ace of Wands reversed with the Nine of Wands that you're putting your foot down with someone. You're no longer allowing certain individuals to take advantage of you or to exploit you in any way, shape or form. Okay, that's really what this combination is conveying to me. So yeah, proper standing up for yourself. I'm going to use a different deck here a minute, because I need to clarify even further that Ace of Wands reversed. Right, so can you tell us more about that Ace of Wands reversed for Sagittarius, please? What's this Ace of Wands reversed? There's a bit of a false start that's going on with that energy. The Emperor. Okay, the Emperor. It's a false start with the Emperor. I feel here that you possibly attempted to... no, that's not the word I'm looking for. I'm really struggling today, Sag. I do apologize. I feel with this combination, see, the first thing that came to my head then, but I can't find the word for it, right? So I'm going to have to find a work around. Just got to go with what I'm given. I feel that this one's saying that in the recent past, you did make attempts at making your point with a specific individual, right? But for whatever reason, it fell through, and it could have been through manipulation, right? They might have managed to find, interestingly enough, a workaround your own boundaries, and they got you to sort of lower your guard, drop your guard, something like that. And you hadn't realized that they'd done it until it was too late. So this combination here feels very much like lesson learned. I'm not going to fall for that trick again. Okay. There was a word for it. I was given the word for it, but it disappeared as soon as it came in. So I do apologize for that, Sag. I cannot help my current issues at the moment. It just is what it is. Okay. So hopefully I managed to still convey that in a way that made sense. why this is happening, the buds, new beginnings and expansion. So you're being reminded of this particular lesson about you fooled me before and I'm not going to let you do that to me again. You're being reminded of that because it's time for you to go up to the next level of your own journey, of your own growth, right? So let's take a look at this, buds. What are these new beginnings for Sag that's coming through here? Apparently, Sag, it's time for you to start something new here also, okay? So this is going to be the best week for you to start a new job. Yes, definitely. The Six of Pentacles and the Fool. Yeah, it's going to be the best week for you guys to start that new project or that new job, that new career, that new hobby as well. It could just be a new hobby, right? This is going to be the best week for you to initiate that. And it's kind of sad, the fact that we've got this initiation energy with the Ace of Wands and it came out in the reverse. So this week you're having the opportunity, revisit you, where you're going to be able to start something new that you should have started a few months ago, but you didn't start it a few months ago. Again, for whatever reason, very, very likely there was some kind of manipulation that was involved with that one. But you're going to be starting it this week. Okay, so if that makes any kind of sense at all, because you did get the Six of Pentacles and the Fool, which is surrender and control, releasing control. It's really leaning into the newness and the new energy. Again, especially with the buds of growth, the buds of life, right? So something that you should have started a few months ago but didn't, there's still life there. You just need to breathe that life into it, okay? And now is the right time to do that, Sag. Beautiful. Right, so what is going on in your blind spot? Sage, wisdom, purification, and harmony. Yeah, so with the sage, I mean, that's a very, very powerful, potent herb, that one. And it's asking for you to see if you can find harmony between your environment, okay, and your inner self, right? Because there has been a bit of unrest that's been going on with this energy. It could be arguments with people, different opinions, just generally not seeing eye to eye with certain individuals. But it could also be internal disharmony as well and dysregulation. Okay, so it's time for you to find that balance. That's what this one's asking for you. And with it being with it being in your blind spot, it's saying that you will have insight that is going to come to you through unlikely sources because it's in your blind spot. So there's wisdom, clarity, purification, and it all comes from not an obvious source, an unlikely source, an unlikely place. Again, that could be external to you, like you just happen to stumble upon some piece of news or information or a reading, maybe this reading, okay, you might have just stumbled upon it and you're like, yeah, you know, a lot of things here make sense, okay. It could literally come from anywhere, but it's all about keeping an open mind because there is insight here that is not coming from an obvious place, right? I feel like this one's saying to you as well, Sag, that anything that doesn't immediately make sense to you right away, give it some time, because the pieces of the puzzle will soon fall into place. Okay, you just need to give it time, remain open and receptive, and the wisdom will come through. Okay. With it being in your blind spot, it's saying, Sag, you can't force anything right now. Just allow that flow to happen. Okay? So, yeah, let's take a deeper dive into this one. Can you tell us more about Sagittarius's blind spot? About this insight that's coming from an unlikely or non-obvious place. The Queen of Cups, yeah. Love, compassion, spirituality, creativity. Being in the flow. Your own intuition. In your blind spot. There's healing. Healing and compassion. The Lovers, that one's coming out squiffy. Okay. I need to find out what that one is before I say anything else, okay? What's this, Lovers? It's these two. Okay, the Hermit and the Ten of Pentacles. Interesting. Okay, Sag. So that Lover's coming out squiffy. That's a side of someone else's personality here that's shining through, that you never realized they had that kind of side to them, right? Again, blind spot energy. Someone is showing you much more of a spiritual side of themselves that you didn't know that they had, right? The Hermit with the Ten of Pentacles. Usually it's someone who's very, very quiet, very reserved, but it's obvious that there is a lot that's going on behind those eyes, okay? Connected to your Ten of Pentacles, so you might work with this person, you might be related to this person. They're coming out with a lot of wisdom, and it feels like spiritual wisdom. That is going to be incredibly healing and beneficial for you. There's also an individual that you wouldn't expect is going to empathize with your current dilemma and your situation, your story, if you will. And yet they share very personal and very similar situation that happened in their past that you're currently going through right now. So because they're sharing that experience with you, it provides you with a lot of answers, and it certainly illuminates quite a lot of things as well. So yeah, that's the unusual angle that this purification, harmony and insight is coming from. Okay. I don't know why, but I'm getting reminded of Jay and Silent Bob. I think I'm just showing my age now. But if you recall Silent Bob, like more specifically, he never said anything, but on the odd occasion that he did speak, what he would come out with was very deep, very insightful and very profound. Okay, so that's the image that I got there with those two cards. It's like Silent Bob energy. Right. I mean, that could be you as well, Sag. Maybe you're more the Silent Bob type, and you're providing this healing and insight and compassion towards someone else who's struggling at the moment. So you can just take it as it resonates. Okay. I just thought that was quite funny there. A little bit cute as well. But yeah, there it is. Okay, what is working for you at this time? Fruit, achievement and success. Yeah, so fruit is often the last part of the shrub or the tree to grow. Okay, so if you recall, you had buds in why this is happening, and now you've got the fruit. So yeah, you're going through the whole process here, basically, Sag. This is Spirit's not so subtle way of telling you guys, trust the process, because it doesn't happen quick. It doesn't happen overnight. It is a process, and you need to trust the process. There is significant spiritual growth that is going on with your energy, Sag. So, yes, I do feel that things are feeling a little bit intense this week. But again, it's all part of the much bigger picture, okay? Because the fruit is the result that you receive when all is said and done. And you will be receiving significant results, okay? Because it's literally achievement and success. So it's the tangible proof of what you've achieved. The tangible proof of everything that you've been going through and why you've been going through it, okay? This is telling you, Sag, that all of your hard work, it is going to yield an impressive result, okay? Now, if you feel that you're not at that point yet, then this is evidence that it's not going to take much longer, because it's ripening. There's something here that's ripening, okay? This tells me, Sag, that as long as you continue to focus on producing something that is of good quality, then that is definitely the results that you're going to see in return, okay? Like this one's a really karmically charged energy, because it is fruit. So everything that you put into the soil, if you recall with the earthworm, everything that you put into the soil, it eventually will end up in the fruit itself, and then you consume the fruit, right? And therefore you're taking in everything that had been put into the soil, right? You're just not eating the dirt straight, okay? Because dirt doesn't taste very good, but we still need to get the nutrients out of the dirt and into us. And the way we do that is by eating delicious fruit and foods that have been grown in the dirt, right? I mean, it would be a lot less work if we could just eat the dirt straight, wouldn't it? But it doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. So again, it's evidence of the process. Okay, you can see the process playing out there. The earthworm, the buds, the sage with the purification, and then finally the fruit itself. Okay, so what's working for you is you being focused and dedicated on the quality of your soil, which would be the quality of the project that you're currently working on, or the quality of I guess yourself, right? You doing that inner work, because the output is only ever going to be as good as the input, okay, from the soil to the fruit, right? You want to make sure that there's no contagions there. So this one's saying you are working towards a much bigger purpose, a much bigger goal, and you will see tangible evidence, okay? Tangible evidence of everything that you've been doing. Death, now this one's come out squiffy, so that can indicate a fear of change, right? However, this one's come out in more of its positive attributes, because it's what's working for you. They're saying, Sag, it's fine to fear change, okay? However, with that being said, you mustn't allow that fear of change stop you from initiating the change, because there is some sort of change here that is very, very necessary for you to undertake in order to reap the biggest bountiful harvest. Okay, my brain's going squiffy again. I'm so sorry, guys. Listen, if I could stop it from happening just like that, then I would. because I don't like it either. It's just something I've got to live with. Okay, so lean into the change. All right, Sag. Feel the fear. Recognize this particular fear. It is not benefiting me. It's not the kind of fear that's going to keep me out of danger. It's not the kind of fear that's going to keep me out of trouble or anything like that. It's a different kind of fear. It's fear of change, right? Lean into that change. Feel that fear and do it anyway. And then how it's likely going to play out. The pine tree. Vitality, longevity, and perseverance. So here's the thing, Sag. You're going to take a few knocks and bumps along the way. But guess what? It's not going to stop you. Pine trees are incredibly strong. Yes, the pine wood, it can dent easily, but that doesn't stop it from being strong or productive, okay? Very, very solid. Like, pine wood is absolutely solid. So there is, I want to say there is permanence to what you're building this week. And therefore it's vital that you get it done. Okay, that's the pine tree. So can you tell us more for how this is likely going to play out? Okay. The Three of Cups, interesting. Support network. Sag, I'm understanding that combination is people are gravitating towards you this week. Okay. I feel that other people are going to see the importance behind what you're doing before you do. I really do. And with their support, it's going to encourage you to persevere. It's not that you need support, okay, or validation. However, receiving it is always lovely. And receiving support and validation can really emphasize the importance of what this is that you're doing. Yeah, the Magician manifesting exactly as I said. Like no other words required there. Literally, it's exactly as I've already told you. That's just doubling down on that message of other people are going to see the importance behind what you're doing before you do. And the High Priestess. Very, very spiritual energies. Very, very intuitive. We don't just say trust your intuition just to fill the airwaves. Okay? You have to trust in your intuition. Your intuition will never lead you astray. Your loud inner critic will, but your intuition won't. Because your intuition's your direct connection to the higher sources. Okay? And then your healing message, number 19. And that's the Bull. So let's take a look. Okay, so with this being one of my Gallic decks, they pronounce the Bull as being Tarv. Okay, and it says Tarv meditates. No, it doesn't. Tarv mediates the influence of Tyrannus, the Jupiter-like god of druids, whose beneficence and expansiveness bring the opportunity for a rich and abundant life. Holy shit. That's incredible, Sag. The bull is a symbol of wealth, and it's auspicious to draw this card when you're considering financial matters. But remember that the ancient ones understood that true wealth is found in the heart and soul first, and only then in the material world. The bull represents fertility, potency, abundance, and prosperity. Things that can sometimes take a while to achieve. Yeah, exactly. So this is a long process, Sag. Try not to be put off by the length of time, okay? For any sort of true lasting, meaningful success of any type, it doesn't happen overnight. And the Ten of Pentacles coming out twice there is proof of that, okay? Because when you consider you've got to go, in order to get to the Ten of Pentacles, bless you, you've got to go from the Ace of Pentacles to the 2, to the 3, to the 4, to the 5, and it's step by step by step, all the way up to the 10. And you had the Ten of Pentacles that came out twice. Okay. So, it takes a while to achieve. If your goals require you to work steadfastly in trying circumstances for a considerable period of time, then the Bull will help you to succeed without you becoming drained or depressed. Yeah, so you at the moment you could be teetering on the edge of going, why the fuck am I doing this? Why am I bothering? This is pointless, na 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 na. And then you can see how quickly that those negative thoughts and your own loud inner critic can really quickly start to take over and run the show, and therefore sabotaging all of the growth that you've already been working on and everything that you've already been putting in. Okay. Don't allow that to happen. And then your keywords, wealth, potency, and I know that word, Sag, my brain ain't working at all. There you go. Okay. You will see the benefits of what you're doing. You will. And it's going to be lifelong. Okay. Right, so let's get you some wonderful words of wisdom from the shitty deck. Please keep in mind that this deck is just a little bit of fun at the end of your reading, okay? Because we can all do with a bit of a laugh once in a while, right? Okay, always inhale the good shit and always exhale the bullshit. How appropriate, because you had the bull. If they respect you, respect them. If they disrespect you, still respect them. Do not allow the actions of shitty people change who you are, because you represent yourself, not others. Yeah. So, Sag, anybody who wants to embarrass themselves with you by showing themselves for being a piece of shit and being disrespectful and all the rest of it, you don't have to lower yourself down to their standard just to prove a point, okay? Make sure that you stay on your level, and whatever level they want to be at, that's their business, okay? Oh shit is a phrase that is used simultaneously for the good shit and the bad shit. Yeah. So the next time you say, oh shit, think of only the good shit that is happening for you. Yeah, I like that, because it's usually, ah, shit, or, oh shit. Hopefully for you guys, it's going to be the latter, right? But yeah, that is what I have for you guys today. I definitely hope that reading has been helpful. For personal readings with me, my website is phoenixkeiatarot.com. The link for that is in my description box below. Thank you so very much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.